I don't think that's going to work. You have to hit the little rotate button on the phone. Do you have a rotate? What do you have, an iPhone or an Android?
I think it's Android. Yeah, it's
I don't know how
Android.
to use it then.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. It's
I
fine.
thought that was a picture up there, but that's a vent, isn't it? It looks like a framed piece of abstract art up above your head. You know what I'm talking
Yeah,
about? Yeah,
I was trying to do something, but I don't think it's gonna work.
that's okay.
Yeah. Yeah, there's just nothing. And this is nothing happening. There might be an apparent happening, which is the story. That's seems to have a beginning that began uh, somewhere. But all these are just stories. But this, as it is not a story. It's really nothing. It can never be measured. It can never be known. It can never be understood. What can be known or understood are just stories, concepts, labels, and knowledge in the memory. The knowledge in the memory has to do with knowing, the apparent knowing of the labels, stories, certain stories, dynamic ones. But this isn't a story. And there's no one who can know what this is. This is unknowable. This isn't going anywhere. There's no time. Therefore, there's no past, present, and a future. There's just this, which is already not moving. And this, as it is already shapeless, yet appearing as different shapes. It can never be grasped. It can never really be described because it is already beyond any description. What seems to be a description, they can be just a description of concepts, words used as concepts to describe that which is beyond any description. But everything as it is already empty, is already nothing. every story, every sensation, every feeling. The feeling of not being there is already empty. There's no one behind that. It's just this which is nothing expressing as a feeling of not being there. There's no one behind it. The feeling of getting closer to this is just a feeling. It's already empty. It's just already nothing expressing as a feeling of not of getting closer. Yet there is really nothing to get closer to. There's really nowhere to get to. There's really nothing to find. There's really no finder to find anything. There's just this, which is nothing. So there is that sense of okayness here with whatever that seems to be happening, stories, sounds, sensations. Everything is okay because everything is already an expression of nothing. This. There's really no separation here. There's nothing separate from this to get this. There's really nothing to deconstruct here. There's really no one to fall away. There's just this, whatever is arising, the falling away, which is already empty, somebody looking for something, which is already empty. It's not personal. Trying to get something doesn't mean that there's a real somebody who's trying to get something. And doesn't mean that there's really something to get. All there is nothing. All there is this. All there is spaciousness, wholeness already. There's nothing sticking out. There's no separation. There's no you in this. There's just simply this. And this has been given so many names, but itself as it is already nameless. Is already not a thing. So there is no separation. Therefore, there is no one to mislead. Yeah. Because there is really nothing happening here. There is really nothing to be done about this. What is can never be done. What is just what is. What is has no one already to know what is. It's just what is. Yet somebody trying to know what is just what is. Everything, every movement, apparent movement, thinking, feeling is just what is, expressing as that. There is really nothing separate from this already. The sense of being separate from this is just a sense. It doesn't belong to anyone. There is really no one behind that sense who can claim to be there. There's just simply the sense, which may in time may seem to dissipate, may seem to fall away. So there's no doer of this. There's no one doing this. Even talking right now, it may seem as if there's somebody talking to somebody, but that is just a story. There's already no one talking to anyone here. There's just talking happening, listening happening, which isn't being done by anybody. It's just simply happening. Even thinking that it's being done by somebody is just what's happening. It's got nothing to do with a separate self or an individual. What seems to be an individual is just thought-based. It's just a thought. And thoughts, when are looked for, they can never really be found. The separate self is just a thought construct, which is already appearing in this as this. It's got nothing to do with anyone. Thoughts don't belong to anyone. There is already no thinker of thoughts. What seems to be the thinker of thoughts is just another thought appearing in this as this. So here, as this talking is happening, it is also seen that there's no one who's talking and there's no one who's listening there. There's no there and no here. There's just simply this. This can never be measured. This is already shapeless. It has no beginning and it has no end. And this is undisturbed. It is undisturbed silence. Even when there is a huge noise that seems to be happening, this can never really be disturbed. This undisturbed silence is louder than the noise, the apparent noise. It is also this undisturbed silence also expressing as noise, movement, birds flying, cars hooting, people going to work, meeting in the boardroom, thoughts and sensations. It is just this silence expressing as that already. So it is undisturbed silence because there's nothing apart from it that can actually disturb it. Everything is it already. There's no dividing line. There's no separation. That which is looking for this can never really find this because it is that which is looking already. What is being looked for is already that which is looking. So there is nothing looking and there's nothing to find. Everything is nothing. The separate self can never find wholeness because there is no separate self. It is already wholeness, expressing or appearing as what seems to be the separate self, looking for itself. It is wholeness all the way, or no way. And this is wordless. It doesn't require words to be spoken for it to be what it is. It's already what it is, with or without words being spoken. So even when this body collapses, this remains as it is. It is not dependent on the body for it to be what it is. It may express as what seems to be the body, the voice, but it's not that. It's not only that. It is vast. It is everywhere present, everywhere and nowhere. So to this, death and birth is just a story. This doesn't know birth and death, sorry. It is the unborn, the undying. It's not looking for the next exciting experience to happen or it to be what it is. It's already there without boredom. It's not bored. It's not seeking already. It's not expecting already. It's not waiting already. It's just what is. Sitting on a chair, looking the room, the space, in the room, the trees outside, computer screen, an image on the computer screen. It's just this already. And this as it is not a story. And this as it is already timeless. And this as it is not a thing that can be seen, that can be grasped. There's no waiting, there's no trying, there's no doing, there's no thinking, there's no expecting here. There's no postponing. It's just what is. There can be an apparent postponing, expecting, trying, doing, but it's just happening. Nobody's doing it. It's just an inactivity. So this doesn't mind. It doesn't mind itself. There's nothing missing here. There's nothing lacking. There's nothing that needs to be done. There's nowhere to get to. There's nothing to fix. There's nothing to get. And there's no one to get anything here. Everything is empty. Everything is nothing. Everything is this already. There is no person to help here. All is this already. No matter the shape or form it may appear to be, it's just this vastness, wholeness, spaciousness, expressing as every apparent thing. So everything is beautiful because everything is an expression of this. The apparent characters are all just this already. No matter how the expression may seem to be. If it seems to be bad, it's still just this. if it seems to be good, is still justice. If the apparent character is suffering a lot, still justice. There is no real separate character who's suffering. It's just this expressing as the apparent character who's going through stuff. Help can be offered, but that which seems to offer help is still just the totality as well, offering help to itself. Because there's no separation. There are no real separate people here who are doing their own things. It's just this already. Me, you, them is this already. There's no real you, real me, real them. Every expression is already wholeness expressing. Every character is already wholeness. Every feeling, every sensation, asking questions, giving answers, not liking what is being shared, liking what is being shared is already the totality, expressing as that. Everything is already impersonal. There's nothing personal here. There's no real world. There are no real presidents, prime ministers. Everything is this. So stories, this superficial character, when it is seen that all there is this, there's no separation. Uh, the character may enjoy, the apparent character may seem to enjoy being that character, but it's just this wholeness enjoying being that character. So it's beautiful. Everything is okay because everything is this already. There are no real stories. There are no real people. It's not that by listening to this message, the apparent or the separate self will eventually collapse and fall away. And recognition would happen that it is going to be seen that all there is this. What is being spoken or what is being pointed at here is that there is already no separate self. The separate self is imaginary. There is no separate self that will eventually collapse by listening to this message because it is already not there as separate from everything. It's just everything already. That which is imagined can never really fall away, can never really get anything, because it's imaginary. The imagination can simply stop, and it can be seen that all there is this, there is no separate self. So the me never happened. When the recognition happens, it is seen that the character or the separate self, the one who was feeling separate from everything, just never happened. It was already not there. It's already not there. In the midst of searching, in the midst of trying to figure out what this might be, trying to get rid of itself, it's already not there. I would say the me or the separate self is a fallacy. All there is this wholeness, totality, the unity of all things. And this is alone as everything. You and others are imaginary. So this doesn't say that there shouldn't be any um, asking questions. This doesn't suggest that there shouldn't be any meditation or seeking. That may still happen. No, but it's already not being done by anybody. It may happen when they still that sense uh, of separation happening, which is already empty. So the sense of separation or the experience of separation is already happening to no one. Not that the experience of separation is happening to somebody. Somebody needs to get rid of it. No, it's already empty. It is already an expression of everything. It's not personal. It's got nothing to do with anyone. It appears and disappears on its own. It's got nothing to do with the story. It may be assumed that's all in the story. That's all. It's because it's got nothing. It has something to do with somebody. Or somebody was not meditating enough, was not being present. Those are just stories. What seems to be happening has got nothing to do with anyone. It's not personal. It's not happening to anyone already.
It's almost 10. I need to go soon.
Okay. Getting ready for work?
Yeah, I'm at work. This is my work.
Oh, okay.
All throughout history, there's been movements like Buddhism and Hinduism, Christianity, arguably, that have tried to get people to see. But it always puts a big burden on folks, a big perceived burden on folks to get there, to do stuff to get there. Your approach is much different,
Yeah.
but who does it work for? There's no one for it to work for.
Yeah, somehow, but this is just a story. It may seem to prolong or extend the illusion that there's a real someone there who can get something, you know. But this is just a story. But when it is said that there's already no one there, it cuts right through the illusion.
Yeah.
And it's the me always comes up and say, but what do I need to do to get there? No, so but there's already no me.
Okay, Kosi. This not me. It's gonna go start its day.
Yeah.
Talk to you next week.
Okay, beautiful. You're welcome.